Welcome on Liberty 1 cent 1988 Liberty USA coin value and history worth a lot of money and market current value $0.129 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, the 1988 Liberty 1 cent coin has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and everyday people across the nation because of its incredible value and fascinating history. A coin that was once tossed into pockets, left in drawers, and passed over in spare change is now shaking the numismatic world with auction prices reaching as high as $129,000. That's right. One small copper-colored coin, with a face value of 1 cent, now commanding six figures in the market. And in this video, we're about to take you on an extraordinary journey through time and value, uncovering everything you need to know about the 1988 Lincoln cent. From its iconic design, to the key mint errors that make it rare, to the mysterious variety that few even know exists. And most importantly, how you can find one yourself. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector, someone just getting into numismatics, or even a curious viewer wondering how a penny can be worth so much, this video will open your eyes and may even send you running to check your coin jar. Let's dive in. The 1988 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln penny series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It features Lincoln's bust on the obverse, facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the mint date 1988 to his right, along with the familiar phrase "I in God we trust" above. The reverse of this coin still shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 through 2008. This design was created by Frank Gasparo and became one of the most iconic reverse images in U.S. coin history. Now, while 1988 wasn't particularly rare in terms of mintage, in fact, over 6.5 billion Lincoln cents were produced between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. A few of these coins were struck with unintentional but dramatic errors. And it is those rare few that are now worth tens of thousands, even over $100,000. Why is the 1988 penny worth $129,000? Most 1988 pennies are only worth 1 cent. Some in uncirculated condition might be worth a little more. But there's one specific variety that collectors have been hunting for years, and it's known simply as the 1988 reverse of 1989 transitional error. Now, this might sound technical, but it's actually one of the most exciting and profitable discoveries in modern coin history. Here's what it means. In 1988, the U.S. Mint was still using the older reverse design on the Lincoln cent. But in 1989, they introduced a new reverse die with subtle differences. By accident, some 1988 pennies were struck using the 1989 reverse die, creating what's now called the 1988 reverse of 1989 transitional variety. How can you spot it? Look at the FG initials. They stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse. On a regular 1988 cent, the initials are spaced away from the Lincoln Memorial. But on the 1988 reverse of 1989 error, those initials are closer to the building, a detail that collectors and graders used to identify this rare and valuable coin. The big sale, $129,000 for a penny. One of the finest examples of the 1988 reverse of 1989 cent, graded by a leading professional grading service, PCGS, was sold for an eye-watering $129,000. The reason it achieved such a high value wasn't just the rarity of the variety, it was the condition of the coin. It was graded MS67 red, meaning it had never been circulated, had perfect luster, bright original color, and absolutely no wear. When you combine a scarce variety with a perfect condition, the value skyrockets. And here's the exciting part: experts believe there are still more of these out there. Why? Because the error wasn't widely known for many years. People who had this coin simply spent it without realizing what they were holding. It could be in an old coffee can, a forgotten coin jar, a childhood collection, or even tucked away in your own wallet right now. What to look for in the 1988 penny? To find a valuable 1988 penny, you need to check three key things. 1. The mint mark. Look for a 1988 penny from the Philadelphia Mint, which has no mint mark under the date. The transitional reverse error is only known to exist on Philly minted coins, not Denver. 2. The reverse design. Focus on the designer's initials FG on the right side of the Lincoln Memorial. If the initials are closer and more bold, resembling the style used on 1989 cents, you may have the rare error. Point 3. Condition coins in mint state or uncirculated condition are worth the most. Avoid coins with scratches, dirt, wear, or cleaning damage. These reduce the value dramatically. You can use a 10x magnifier or even a USB microscope to get a better view of these small but critical design features. Other errors worth money in the 1988 Lincoln cent. Besides the reverse of 1989 variety, there are several other errors that can make the 1988 penny valuable. Look for doubled letters in Liberty, or "In God We Trust." If part of the design is missing and the strike is off, this can be worth hundreds of dollars. These are die breaks between the B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like the word BIE. Raised lumps or lines caused by a damaged die can add value, especially if they're dramatic. How to get your 1988 penny graded? If you believe you have a valuable 1988 penny, your best option is to have it graded and authenticated by a professional service. PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies will evaluate the coin, determine the variety, assign a grade, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder. Graded coins often sell for 10 to 50 times more than raw coins, because buyers trust certified grades and authenticity. Where can you find the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny? You don't have to be a millionaire to find one. You can start searching bank rolls of pennies, coin jars at home, flea markets and garage sales, estate sales, and old collections, pocket change. Even though these coins are rare, they are still out there. People spend them every day, unaware of their value. Current market values for 1988 pennies. Here's a quick breakdown of what different 1988 Lincoln cents are selling for. Common 1988 cent circulated 1 cent, uncirculated MS65 red $5 to $15, MS67 red common $100 to $250, 1988 reverse of 1989 uncertified $500 to $2,000, 1988 reverse of 1989 MS65 red $5,000 to $15,000 top. Graded 1988 reverse of 1989 MS67 red $129,000. The price depends on condition, rarity, and the market demand, and right now, demand for transitional errors is growing fast. The 1988 Liberty 1 cent coin is a powerful reminder that not all treasures are ancient. Some are modern, some are hiding in plain sight, and some are small enough to be mistaken for spare change. But with a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and a bit of luck, you might just hold a piece of history and wealth in the palm of your hand. So next time you get change from the store, don't just throw it in a jar. Look at it. Study it. Examine the date, the design, the details. Because a $129,000 penny isn't a dream. It's real. And it's already been found once. The next one could be yours. Thank you for watching. If this video inspired you, educated you, or just amazed you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin videos, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a valuable discovery. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny or want us to cover another year or variety. We love hearing from our coin family and feature your stories in upcoming episodes. My great fellows and everyone, to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we are going to explore a coin that might be hiding in plain sight in your change jar, your old wallet, or maybe even your childhood piggy bank. It is the 1984 1 cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the United States of America, a coin that many people overlook, but which has a hidden history, unique characteristics, and in some rare cases, an astonishing market value of up to $127,000. That's right, a single penny, worth just 1 cent when it was minted, could today be worth more than a luxury car or even a small house. So, let's uncover its story in full detail, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly why this humble copper-plated coin could be one of the most sought-after treasures for coin collectors and enthusiasts. The 1984 Lincoln cent holds a special place in numismatic history because it sits in an era when the United States Mint was undergoing changes in technology and production. It was struck at a time when the minting process was becoming more advanced, but still not immune to mistakes. And it is precisely those mistakes and rare variations that make some 1984 pennies so incredibly valuable today. The design, of course, features the familiar and beloved portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that has been in use since 1909 when it was first introduced to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side still bore the classic Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Both sides of this coin have a clean, bold, and instantly recognizable appearance, but it is the subtle details and variations in these designs that hold the secrets to its rare value. The mint that produced this coin in 1984 was striking billions of Lincoln cents that year. Most were ordinary and circulated for everyday use. The 1984 penny was made from a copper-plated zinc composition, weighing 2.5 grams, and with a diameter of 19 millimeters. The copper plating gave it that warm reddish color that collectors love, but beneath that layer, it was mostly zinc. This change from solid copper to copper-plated zinc had been introduced in 1982 to save costs, and by 1984, the mint had fully embraced this new composition. However, the minting process for these new planchets sometimes led to interesting and rare varieties that are now worth huge sums. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1984 Lincoln penny is the so-called double die obverse, or DDO. This rare error is the result of a misalignment during the hubbing process when the design was impressed onto the die more than once, but slightly out of alignment. On the 1984 double die obverse, you can clearly see extra thickness and separation on Lincoln's ear, giving the appearance of a double ear. This doubling is so distinct that even without magnification, sharp-eyed collectors can spot it. It is this variety that has made certain 1984 pennies worth thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Imagine finding one of these in your change. It looks like an ordinary penny, but the extra ear detail is like a hidden treasure map pointing to its rarity. Collectors go crazy for these coins because they are not only rare but also visually striking. While millions of 1984 pennies exist, only a small fraction show this double die feature. In high grades, with little to no wear, a 1984 double die obverse penny can command prices well into the 5 or even 6 figures. In fact, some have sold for as much as $127,000 in pristine condition, especially if they are certified by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC.to. Understand why collectors are willing to pay such staggering amounts. We need to appreciate the combination of rarity, demand, and historical importance. First, rarity. These double die pennies are incredibly scarce, and no new ones will ever be made. Second, demand. Lincoln cents are one of the most collected coin series in the world, appealing to both beginners and seasoned collectors. Third, historical importance. The 1984 double die obverse is one of the most dramatic and well-known modern penny errors, making it a key piece in any serious collection. But the story doesn't end there. Even regular 1984 Lincoln cents without the doubling can hold surprising value if they are in exceptional condition. Uncirculated examples with flawless luster and no scratches can sell for far more than face value, especially if they grade at the highest mint state levels like MS-68 or higher. Coins like these are incredibly difficult to find because most 1984 pennies went straight into circulation and suffered years of wear. Finding one in perfect condition is like finding a time capsule from 1984. Speaking of 1984, let's take a quick trip back in time to that year to put this coin into perspective. Ronald Reagan was serving as President of the United States. The economy was growing, pop culture was thriving, and music, movies, and television were defining a generation. Penny production was high to keep up with everyday commerce, and the Lincoln Memorial reverse was still a familiar sight to everyone. Nobody at the time could have imagined that some of these pennies would become legendary collectibles decades later. When it comes to spotting a valuable 1984 penny, the key is to examine the details carefully. The double ear variety is the most famous, but other errors can also add value, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. Sometimes, minting errors are so unusual that they become one-of-a-kind pieces, fetching incredible sums from specialized collectors. If you are lucky enough to own a 1984 penny and you think it might be special, the best thing to do is have it authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service. This professional verification not only proves its authenticity but also assigns it a grade, which has a huge impact on its market value. In today's market, rare and certified examples can attract fierce bidding wars among collectors and investors who know just how hard these coins are to find. So the next time you come across a 1984 Lincoln cent, don't dismiss it as just another old penny. Look closely at Lincoln's ear. Check the overall condition. It could be the key to unlocking a life-changing discovery. After all, in the world of coin collecting, treasures often come in the smallest packages, and history has a way of rewarding those with a sharp eye and a little patience. The 1984 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny stands as a perfect reminder that even the most common-looking coin can hold extraordinary value. From its historical roots in the long-running Lincoln cent series to its dramatic and rare double-die variety, this coin is a numismatic gem. And with some examples reaching market values as high as $127,000, it is proof that you should always check your change because you never know when a single cent could be worth a fortune. My dear coin collectors, today's coin treasure journey, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and small pieces of metal that carry massive value. Today's spotlight is on one of the most iconic, collectible, and surprisingly valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1989 USA 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny. At first glance, this little copper-plated coin might seem like just another penny that has passed through millions of hands since it was struck. But if you know what to look for, this very year holds the potential for incredible value. Some rare examples of this coin have reached market valuations of up to an astonishing $125,000, and in this video, we are going to explore exactly why. We'll uncover the history, the details, the minting process, the errors, the variations, and of course, the reasons why a coin worth 1 cent could fetch the kind of money that could change someone's life. Let's take a step back into history. The Lincoln cent, also known as the 1-cent Liberty penny, has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1909. It was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and it replaced the Indian head cent design by Victor David Brenner. The obverse features the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, a design so iconic and respected that it remains on the penny to this day, making it the longest-running coin design in American history. The reverse design in 1989 still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, an image created by engraver Frank Gasparo and introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. From 1959 until 2008, the Lincoln Memorial reverse remained unchanged, giving collectors decades of pennies with consistent imagery but subtle differences in mint marks, strike quality, and metal composition. The year 1989 was a time of transition and intrigue in the world of U.S. minting. These coins were struck primarily in copper-plated zinc, a composition introduced in 1982 when the mint shifted away from the heavier and more expensive solid bronze planchets. Each 1989 penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and is composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating making up the remaining 2.5%. While the overall mintage numbers for 1989 were enormous with billions of coins produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, it is the special minting qualities, rare errors, and pristine conditions that elevate certain coins into the realm of 5 and even 6-figure values. Let's talk about the mints. In 1989, pennies were produced at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which used no mint mark, the Denver Mint, with its signature D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, which struck proof coins marked with an S. While the Philadelphia and Denver mintage numbers ran into the billions, the San Francisco proof coins were created in far smaller numbers, designed for collectors and struck with mirrored backgrounds and sharp, detailed designs. Proof coins from this year, especially those in perfect deep cameo condition, can command significant premiums. However, it is not just the proofs that hold the big money. The rare errors and flawless circulation strikes are where the real treasures are found. Now, what could make a 1989 penny worth up to $125,000? The answer lies in rarity and desirability. Collectors value coins that are either in exceptional, uncirculated condition or that possess minting errors which make them unique. Among the most sought-after 1989 penny errors are off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to a misalignment during striking; double die obverse, where design elements like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust appear doubled; and broad strikes, where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, resulting in an expanded, distorted shape. Another valuable error is the transitional planchet strike, where a coin intended for 1 year's composition is mistakenly struck on the metal intended for another year. Some 1989 pennies have been discovered struck on bronze planchets left over from earlier years, and these are incredibly valuable. Condition plays an enormous role in value. A standard 1989 penny in average circulation may be worth only a cent, but one in mint state, especially MS-68 or higher, can leap in value dramatically. Coins that have never been in circulation, retaining their original mint luster, with no scratches, no wear, and perfectly sharp details, are highly sought after. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified some extraordinary specimens, and it is these top-tier coins that have achieved market prices in the tens of thousands. Combine flawless condition with a rare error, and you have the perfect storm for a coin worth 6 figures. We also need to remember that coin collecting is not just about metal and minting, it's about history and storytelling. The 1989 penny is a relic from the final years of the Cold War, a time when the Berlin Wall was coming down, the world was changing rapidly, and the US Mint was refining its production technology. Every coin struck in that year is a tiny time capsule, carrying with it the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of Brenner and Gasparo, and the evolving story of American coinage. For a collector, owning a flawless or rare 1989 penny is not just about the value in dollars, it's about holding a tangible link to history, a piece of art, and a symbol of the enduring respect for one of the greatest leaders the United States has ever known. The market value today for a standard 1989 penny in circulation is minimal, but as we have seen, special examples can reach staggering amounts. The highest known sales have been for coins with rare errors or immaculate conditions, certified at the highest grades possible. A perfect example sold at auction for an incredible $125,000, a price driven by a combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. And as the years pass, coins in such condition will only become rarer, making them even more valuable for future collectors. So, if you have a jar of old pennies at home, now is the time to take a closer look. Examine the date. Look for that 1989. Check for any unusual doubling, off-center designs, or any weight differences that could suggest a different metal composition. And above all, look for that sharp, untouched mint luster that could place your coin among the highest graded examples known. Because who knows, in your hand, you might just be holding a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc worth as much as a luxury car or even a house. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the fact that treasures are still out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with the patience and the knowledge to see what others overlook. The 1989 USA 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the most extraordinary things come in the smallest packages. My dear friends, now we go to another fascinating journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where every small piece of copper can tell a story worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. We are unlocking the full mystery behind a coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in someone's jar of change, hiding in plain sight. We are talking about the 1992 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin from the United States of America, a coin that has taken the numismatic community by storm for its rare variations, incredible history, and jaw-dropping market value. This tiny penny has been known to fetch an unbelievable amount of money, with certain rare examples selling for as much as $122,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny with a face value of just 1 cent turning into a treasure that could buy you a brand new luxury car, a small house, or change your financial life. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we must first travel back in time to 1992, a year filled with political change, cultural events, and major shifts in the United States economy. The penny, as most Americans know it, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. For decades, the Lincoln penny remained relatively unchanged, becoming a staple of American coinage. But in 1959, the reverse design shifted from the classic wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, marking another milestone in its history. By 1992, the Lincoln Memorial design was still in use, but the U.S. Mint was preparing for a major change, a new reverse that would arrive in 2009 to celebrate the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. The 1992 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mint mark just below the date on the obverse. The Denver Mint produced millions of these coins for everyday circulation. Under normal circumstances, a 1992 D penny in average circulated condition might be worth just its face value, maybe a few cents to a collector if in good shape. However, in the world of coin collecting, it is the rare variations and minting mistakes that turn common coins into valuable treasures. The 1992 D Lincoln penny has one of the most famous and sought-after variations, the close AM reverse. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is a close AM penny and why is it so special? On the reverse of most Lincoln Memorial pennies, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced apart with a noticeable gap. But in the rare close AM variety, these letters are almost touching or entirely touching. This was not supposed to appear on business strike coins in 1992. Instead, it was a reverse design intended for proof coins made at the San Francisco Mint. Somehow, a small number of 1992 D business strike pennies were struck with this proof reverse, creating a major rarity. Experts believe that this happened due to the accidental use of a proof die during regular circulation coin production at the Denver Mint. Such an error is incredibly rare, and only a tiny handful of examples have ever been confirmed. This close AM detail is what transforms the 1992 D penny from a common coin worth 1 cent into a numismatic superstar worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for well-preserved examples, especially those graded in high mint state condition. One particularly high-grade specimen fetched an incredible $122,000 at auction, stunning both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and the excitement of finding one in change drives this high demand. The obverse of the coin shows the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust alongside the year 1992 and the D mint mark. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial with United States of America arched above, the denomination 1 cent below, and E pluribus unum centered between. On the close AM variety, the key is to inspect the spacing between the letters A and M. Another small detail to notice is that the FG initials of designer Frank Gasparo are slightly different in position compared to the regular wide AM coins. These subtle design differences are the clues collectors use to identify the rare treasure. The thrill of this coin is that it could be anywhere. It could be sitting in a bank roll of pennies, in a drawer, or in an old jar of change that has been ignored for years. The dream of discovering one is part of what fuels the obsession of penny roll hunters and coin enthusiasts across America. For those lucky enough to find one, the payoff can be life-changing. Even in circulated condition, a genuine 1992 D close AM penny can command thousands of dollars. In uncirculated mint state grades, the price skyrockets, with the record-setting examples reaching into six figures. So why do collectors go so crazy for errors like this? In the coin world, rarity is king. When a minting error happens due to a mix-up of dies or an unusual production process, it creates a variety that exists in extremely limited numbers. The fewer examples there are, the higher the demand and the higher the value. The 1992 D close AM penny perfectly fits this formula. Very few known examples, a widely recognized and easy-to-spot design difference, and a direct link to a major moment in U.S. mint history. For anyone hoping to find one, the process is simple but requires patience. Start by examining every 1992 penny you come across. Flip it to the reverse and look at the A and M in America. If they are nearly touching, you may have stumbled upon a fortune. Once found, the coin should be authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity and condition. This step is crucial, as many collectors will only pay top dollar for certified coins. The story of the 1992 Lincoln penny is a reminder that treasures can hide in the most ordinary places. It shows that history, craftsmanship, and chance can combine to create something extraordinary. It proves that in the world of coins, knowledge is power. The more you know about design changes, mint marks, and varieties, the better your chances of uncovering a valuable gem. And while the odds of finding a 1992 close AM penny are incredibly slim, they are not zero. People have found them before, often in the most unexpected circumstances. The next time you handle a penny, do not dismiss it as just a small piece of copper-plated zinc. Take a closer look, especially if it is dated 1992 with a mint mark. It could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Remember, some of these coins have sold for as much as $122,000, a staggering sum for something most people overlook every day. In the grand story of American coinage, the 1992 close AM Lincoln penny stands as one of the most exciting modern rarities. Its blend of mystery, rarity, and value makes it a legend among collectors. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, this is a coin that captures the imagination and proves that sometimes, even the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Keep your eyes open, keep hunting, and who knows, the next rare treasure might just be in your pocket right now.